Over the next few weeks, our show will focus on the nominees for the Eastern Mosaic Community Awards and their role in addressing key issues in South Africa.
Last week, we witnessed the gift of the givers in action in Soweto. And now we see them take a stand against xenophobia.
The unassuming exterior offers little hint of the scale of the humanitarian role played by the foundation.
We're at the Johannesburg headquarters of the Gift of the Givers in Fortsburg. It is in these surroundings that the organization is able to help thousands of people. Feeding schemes, scholarships, adoption of schools, and more recently, a fantastic program to help refugees displaced by the recent xenophobic violence. We are honored to meet with Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman, the chairperson and founder of the Gift of the Givers.
A man of remarkable modesty, Dr. Suleiman seeks no personal acclaim for the work of the foundation, but he has become an internationally respected figure.
You're a medical doctor, but your whole life is about humanitarian aid. Where did it all start?
It started off in 1992. I was on a trip to Turkey and I met a Sufi teacher. And he said to me, it looks like you are geared for serving people. And he says, today, I ask you to form an organization. The name will be Waqful Waqifin. And I was stunned. I didn't know what he was talking about because I've never heard such kind of words. And then, when translated, it means gift of the givers. And he said that this will be your job for the rest of your life.
16 years later, you've built an organization that is known globally, that has affected and helped the lives of tens of thousands of people. Did you think this would happen?
Not in my wildest dreams. One important thing I must say, he told me clearly, you don't do anything. Everything is done through you, not by you. I never dreamt that I would have to give up my practice. I never dreamt that we'll be in so many countries. I never dreamt we'll be opening up offices, start opening offices all over. I never dreamt that so many people from so many parts of the world would support us.
While I know you emphasize it's not about the individual, you did take a containerized hospital to Bosnia. You did face down violence in a very difficult situation.
In 1993, we designed that hospital. It's the world's first, the only one of its kind in the world, and we designed it in South Africa. A mobile hospital, 28 units, a theater unit, ICU, physiotherapy, burns, orthopedic, all those kind of units. And it had its own generator and 10 containers of backup supplies. And yes, when we went into Bosnia, it was violent. It was one of the most horrific things you could ever see. But again, in religion, we believe that your time of death is in God's hands. So you would go with full faith in God Almighty, and you do what you have to do.
What do you think lies behind your ability to bring so many things together, the logistics, the equipment, and also generating money?
I was green. I had never run an organization before. All I'd done was a minute secretary. That's what I did. And at one stage I ran a youth organization, but nothing to this extent. And God put me through all the stages. For 20 weeks I was obstructed, taking that hospital into Bosnia. I had to learn diplomatic work, marketing, administration, finance, everything to do with relief and disaster. Bosnia taught me. And thereafter everything else became second nature.
It seems that you never sit still. You're always looking for new things to do to help people, the poorest of the poor. Tell us a bit about the food supplements of Basiso.
After rolling out the food parcels, we found that people were not hungry anymore, but they didn't look any different from what they looked before the food parcel. They still looked sick, they still had funny skin, their hair was funny, and they didn't look well at all. In 2004, February, there was a UN report stating that Africa's problems are low iron, low vitamin B12, low folic acid, low protein. These are Africa's problems. Kept it to the back of my mind, and Friday, the 6th of April, as I told you, this thing is spiritually guided. The formula came to my brain, why don't you form a food supplement? We decided to take groundnuts from Malawi, one of the best in the world, take soya from Europe, America, and South America, add soya oil from Kenya, organic sugar from Malawi, put vanilla, and you've got ingredients for vitamins. I'm making it very simple in simplified form. A ready food supplement.
Dr. Suleiman, you've seen many things. You've been to disaster areas, you've seen earthquakes. What has been the one thing that has had the most impact upon you and possibly even changed the way you look at life?
The contentment and the patience of people. In spite of all indignity, in spite of pain, in spite of suffering, how they wait with patient eyes and a prayer in their hearts and their face, you can see it. That no matter what their circumstances are, you know, they sit there humbly, and when you give them the items, they said, you know what, we really didn't need this. The fact that you thought about us from a country so many thousand kilometers away, that is good enough for us.
One of the amazing things about your organization, Gift of the Givers, is that in a very cynical world, you seem to get people giving you money all the time and lining up to give you money, from corporates to just ordinary people.
It's God's grace, and from a spiritual point of view. From a physical and a practical point of view is, people have seen our track record. We don't hide, we don't have a hidden agenda, we don't play political games, we just are focused. We don't give a specific group to Muslims only, or to give to a certain political party. We give everybody in need, but we make sure that good gets to the right people.
You left Turkey with just a message and an idea, and you managed to change thousands of people's lives. What message do you have for the viewers out there?
Most people say, what can I do? I don't have money. It's not about money. It's about a commitment from inside, that even a kind word is charity. Even a smile sometimes could change somebody's life.
You're always at meetings, you're an intense man. What makes you tick, and what do you do to relax?
I always make a joke. I say I find relaxation very stressful. My happiness lies in the happiness of other people. When I see other people happy, that makes me happy.
In the aftermath of the recent xenophobic violence, the foundation was at the forefront of relief efforts.
It's the basic stuff we're giving them. It's a nice blanket for them.
The Gift of the Givers has been supporting refugees. Tell us a bit about that work.
The first day it happened in Alexandra, we were the first organization in on that night with 200 blankets and 200 loaves of bread. And over the next few days, in all the areas where violence broke out, we were involved in a much bigger way, and we declared 1 million rand of funds we made available from our own reserves to buy blankets, food parcels, a whole range of items.
Dr. Suleiman, you've traveled the world, you've crossed national boundaries, you've seen the costs of ethnic violence. You as a South African, how have you been personally affected by what has gone on here?
First of all, it was an embarrassment, because this is not what South Africans are all about, chasing people from another country away, especially when they're in need. More so when these same countries stood for South Africans during the apartheid time. But the good thing about that is that the other South Africans showed that they were not part of the same makeup. And the spirit of compassion, Ubuntu, of union across color, and to stand together for fellow Zimbabweans or Malawians, it was amazing.
We've been in the company of a man, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman. He went to Turkey as a medical doctor and returned to South Africa as someone instilled with an idea that he was going to help the poorest of the poor. He built an organization, the Gift of the Givers. It has helped tens of thousands of people across the world. But him and his organization hasn't sat still. It has continued to help people. He's thought about new things like feeding schemes, nutrition schemes. He continues to raise money. In a world where many of us feel we cannot make a difference, Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman and the Gift of the Givers is an inspiration, a beacon, a sign that it is possible to make a difference for the better.